Intruder, big deer. I can't believe that just happened. The dead deer. He dropped right where we had him. Yes! Oh my gosh. Holy crap. The great Hambino right here. Happy Friday, everybody. Today is St. Patty's Day, March 17th, 2023. And a lot of people are probably listening to this, probably heading to the bar, maybe getting some green beer today. I could see that. I mean, I'm going to be drinking some green beer tomorrow. We're getting to the festivities tomorrow, Saturday. So
yeah, I mean, you got green on, I got green on right now. I mean,
hey,
we're ready.
There it is, right there. You know, today is a Friday episode with Greg Litzinger, the bow hunting fiend. David was actually not on this episode with me. Greg and I recorded it a while ago, and just now being able to roll it out. We've had a lot of podcasts in the bank, and getting to the point now. So, but this is a good one. Greg, he had his last bow season. He quantifies it as the best worst season he's ever had. He was like full draw, like 4 or 5 times on good bucks, and never released an arrow. But Greg is a super good deer hunter. He's from New Jersey and does a lot of his hunting up there, and or over there, I should say. But does a lot in salt marshes and on public land, and he's good at it. And he's a good dude. So I can't wait for you guys to hear this.
Yeah, I really like Greg. I've known Greg through social media, following back and forth, but got to meet Greg last year, 2022 up at the Michigan TAC event. And, it's funny, you meet guys like that, and, what he hunts is completely different than what I hunt. But when you start breaking it down, we have a lot of similarities. Yep. We're not that much different. We're just hunting a little bit different states, a little bit different terrain, a lot of the same tactics, and actually see some of the same things, at certain times of the year.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And this is going to be, I mean, we're not going to be long on this intro today. We are going to do a question of the week. We'll roll that in here in a little bit. But yeah, basically pretty straightforward. Good podcast, good conversation with Greg. So I know you guys will enjoy it. But we're going to rip through some partners real quick. Helix Broadheads. We talk about him every week. You guys have seen all the footage and a lot of the deer that I've killed with him. David's going to be supporting these things going into this next fall. But Helix Broadheads, they're awesome heads. You can use the FJ2 or the FJ4. You can use the code FALLHX10 at checkout if you would like to buy some. You can get a 1-pack or you can get a 3-pack. A 1-pack, I think, is $24.99. I believe, just if guys want to try them out. The thing I like about these things is obviously they're built like brick shit houses, but I love running them through a target out summer, and then just they have a sharpener as well, and you can sharpen those bad boys back up and just keep shooting them, and that's awesome to me. So really, if you really want to save money in the long run, you can buy a 3-pack of these and shoot them for a long time. That's a big selling point for me.
Oh, yeah. Good broadheads, but even better people, man. The good guys over there.
Speaking of the good people, they also own America's Best Bowstrings. Bryant over there, he's the marketing director, and Tim and Christine and Jerry, and I know I'm missing a whole bunch of them, and I'm very sorry, but all of them are great people to work with. They're hard workers. They put out a great product with Helix and ABB. So if you guys are looking for a new string, Platinum, Premium, or Pursuit Series, use the code THEFALL at americasbestbowstrings.com to save yourself some money there. Next is Latitude Outdoors. You can use the code thefallpodcast, all one word, to save some money on any accessories, any classic saddles, any ropes, stuff like that, any merch that you want, like a cool hat like this. It's a leather patch hat. It's pretty sweet. Go to latitudeoutdoors.com and check that out. Also, Exodus trail cams. It's getting to be the point where some people might be putting cameras out for turkey season. I know some people that do use cameras for turkey season, and or just starting to think about cameras for next season. They've got the new Rival out, which is a budget-friendly cell cam, and then the render. They come with a 5-year warranty, awesome customer service, and like you said, David, great people. With Helix and ABB, also great people. Chad and Jake, Chad Sylvester and Jake Hofer and Cameron Durr, and I know there's other people in the office as well. I don't know them personally. Those are just the 3 that I do know, but I do know all of them are awesome people and really take pride in what they do in their company. So check them out, ExodusOutdoorGear.com. Method Archery, if you guys are looking for new arrows. Tacks are getting ready to roll here. David and I just got some new arrows in from Method Archery. Go on there, use their arrow builder, and use the code FALL10 to save some money there. Garmin bow sights. You guys know how much I love my Garmin. And then G5 Prime. If you guys are looking for a new bow, it's never too late. Go try the Rev X. We're shooting the 2s this year. You can shoot the 4s or the 6s, I believe. 6s, right?
Yep.
And
you got it.
so you can check out all the different colors and different SKUs and what they got. So you're going to like that bow. So that's keeping the lights on for you. So David, let's get into this question. I've got a question today submitted from Instagram,
right.
and
Okay.
I'm going to say the guy's name. I don't know him personally. Thank you very much, but his name is Mike Schulte. I think that's his last name. But thank you, Mike, for submitting a question. And here is the question. Okay, David.
Hold on. Time out. Are we both answering this one then? We're going to do this.
Yeah, we'll both answer it.
Let's do it.
Yep. Yeah, we'll both answer it. So, all right. You obviously have your home state to hunt, okay? We're going to just kind of put that on the back burner right now, though. Okay, so you have your own home state of Michigan to hunt. Would you rather either have one out-of-state place on private that's 300 acres that you can control, whatever happens there, or 2, have 2 states, out-of-state hunts, that are public? So it's either hunt one out-of-state hunt that's 300 acres private that you can control, or go to any other 2 states and hunt only public.
Do I get to pick what state it is for the private?
No.
Okay. What's the private state?
The private state is Wisconsin.
And what's my 2 public states?
Indiana and Tennessee.
That's a good one. I didn't think that was coming. That's a good question. Damn, it's good. I'm trying to think. It's. Oh shit, dude.
I'm gonna answer it. I'm gonna answer for me. You can think. Okay?
Oh man, I'm trying to. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going 2 states of public.
Okay, reason?
Exploring new places. I've yet to kill a public land deer. I've really actually have only sat twice on public land. As I sit here right now, I am ready to be challenged on the public out of state public. Not saying I won't do it in Michigan, but I'm ready to be challenged on it. And I've always thought it'd be cool to hunt deer in Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I have a really good buddy, one that I actually hope to have here on the podcast soon, that lived in Tennessee for a while and did some deer hunting there, and he says quite often that he would love to go back there and do some hunting. Okay, so I think I lean towards the same answer as you, for a little bit different reasons. I've done a lot of out-of-state. All my out-of-state hunting has been on public, but just for the fact of like seeing something new, having 2 tags. But family-wise, it's probably more realistic for me to have, just kind of one out-of-state tag. To do 2 trips and devote a true effort towards it. The piece in Wisconsin that would be private, that would probably work out for my family a little better. But if I was looking for a fun season where I could look back at it and I was like, damn, that was a good time, it'd probably be the $2 state or the 2 states. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's probably what I'm gonna go with. If there's no obligations where it controls time, I would take the 2 for sure.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I love these questions, and thank you, Mike, for submitting that. Guys, we need more. I mean, just keep hitting us. We got them coming in, but shoot us some more. That's these are always fun. I got ripped apart on social media the other day on one, and you're the one that showed me about or told me the.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I seen it. I seen the
So,
guy's comment. Yeah,
And I don't really. I mean, I look at. Actually, no, I don't. I mean, every once in a while, if there's not too many comments, I'll look at them, but like they don't really bother me. If you start getting bothered by the comments, it's like, it's just gonna eat you alive. I really do not worry about it. If you don't like me, sorry.
Yep.
Stop listening.
Yeah, that's the thing though. They're listening.
Yeah, he's listened. Because the person referenced a podcast that I did a long time ago, and thanks for your download, or thanks for your listen, thanks for your number, thanks for taking the time to live in your mom's basement and write on your keyboard to really tell me how you felt. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he probably felt pretty good about himself afterwards.
Oh, I'm sure he hit enter and he's like. Okay.
He can go upstairs and eat meatloaf then.
Yeah, either that or go throw some rouge on himself or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's not go down that road. But thank you guys to all you loyal listeners. Thank you very much for all the downloads and, all the support. Honestly, it's awesome. We've got we got almost all the One Giant Mistake episodes up on YouTube. We just came out with one on Tuesday that was a 250-inch buck that cost a human $28,000. So if you haven't listened to it, it's pretty intriguing. But a lot of people are asking where they can see the footage. It's on the Fall Podcast YouTube channel. So as the story lays out in the podcast, you can see the shot and everything. It's really cool. So go check that out. Subscribe to the podcast channel. Also, a little update on the merch. We are doing a pre-order for the One Giant Mistake t-shirts. If you guys want some, we've had quite a few orders so far, but we're running them until Tuesday. So the Tuesday coming around here will be the last day you can pre-order for that. But then a step further with the stuff that's going to be on the website. So I talked to our printer this week. I'm getting quantities over to him for the designs that we're going to be doing. He's got to order that stuff in. And then it's been a slow process, but he's got to order that stuff in. He's going to print off each garment for a test print because I want to see it. David and I both want to see it and approve it. And then he's going to print everything else, and then we're going to roll. So I was hoping by April. It still might be by April, but if not, it might be like middle of April time that we're going to go live with that. Everybody's been asking. I appreciate your patience. They're coming. And once we have it, then it'll be a well-oiled machine. So that's just a little update on that front. Other than that, hopefully you guys have a lot of fun this weekend. St. Patty's Day, be safe. If you drink, don't drive, obviously. But yeah, have fun. And I know you guys will like this interview with Greg. So thank you guys very much. And here's this interview with Greg. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Fall Podcast, and we are at ATA Show 2023, Wednesday, day one. We're actually wrapping up day one here.
Yeah.
And
you got here late, so I'll let you slide.
Greg Litzinger is with me, by the way. He's the first ATA guest I've had. We were in the ABB and Helix booth, and you got in like last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but you had some delays.
Yeah. Newark Airport. Thumbs up. United.
Are you flying Delta? Or are you flying
United?
See, that's why you gotta fly Delta.
Sorry. You must fly Delta, yes.
I got a lot.
I fly whatever's cheapest.
Well, yeah. And honestly, I mean, all the flying I've done for the last 10 years, I haven't had to pay for. It's been great, and I get to rack the miles up. So why not, right?
It's part of it's part of the business, I guess.
Yeah. No, we're here day one. Like I said, we're going to be podcasting I am going to be podcasting for the next 2 days. Greg has been, God, we've been pretty decent friends for the last, I don't know, you're one of my first guests, actually, probably within the top 20
Yeah, I think so,
maybe?
Yeah. You were, that's right when I was kind of starting off as well.
Yeah. So anybody that doesn't know Greg's name, he's the bow hunting fiend on social media, on Instagram and stuff like that. You're out in Jersey boy, South Jersey. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
There's a line where it's
ignorant. It's me being ignorant to the fact of Jersey. But how was your year this year?
The best, worst season I could ask for. Full draw 4 times.
On good bucks.
On good bucks, on different bucks.
Yep.
And no shots. So, but the one is my fault because I didn't practice shooting distance this year.
Why didn't you? You said you didn't practice shooting distance?
After TAC, I didn't shoot past 40.
I really didn't either.
I got no reason. I got no one to blame but myself for not killing that deer. He was at 48-50 range, standing broadside, just doing what deer do.
Right.
I had him at 15 in the thicket. He wouldn't stop moving. So then he comes across this open thing at 45-50, broad, wide open, just slow, taking his time. And I'm
what time of year is this?
This was November 17th.
And you're not a November guy.
No.
You hate November.
I had drew back 3 times in November, which is it's a win for me. It really is. And I had a buck come in, right at gray light. Sun's breaking up. He's coming in, and 8 yards is too dark to shoot.
Really?
And that's pretty much been the last good deer I've seen.
How what kind of caliber was the buck on the 17th that you went full draw?
Maybe 120, which was one of the bigger deers I've actually had on camera. I didn't have many big deer on camera this year. It was a rough, I don't know if the drought. We had a real bad drought in Jersey, so I think they had a lot to play with this antler development.
Really?
I have one Pope caliber deer on camera, a true Pope, probably mid 130s, low 130s.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, that was me though this year as well in Michigan. It just, believe it or not, the biggest deer I had on camera was on public, and he probably went mid 130s as a 10. But I mean, all the deer on camera and private and stuff, I think my biggest deer is I put him at 115.
Yeah.
And usually every year, doesn't matter if it's on my ag country, if it's my big wood stuff, we're going to get a true Pope and Young 130s. This year, same kind of thing, just didn't happen.
Yeah, last year I had a boatload of deer that were, easily 120 plus. I mean, countless, numerous.
Yeah.
And we had a cold December and January during our gun season. And I think a lot of them got, taken out because we had extreme cold last year.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that this year a lot of your deer get shot, just at, gun season and everything? A lot of them, did you get any to live? You know what I mean?
The biggest deer I got on camera right now is a no brow 6 pointer since mid-December. Yeah. Actually, no, I did see a bigger buck, but it was a piece I don't normally hunt.
Yeah.
So that's another piece I want to look into because I was surprised. He made it through gun season. He was a big deer.
Really?
So I have prospects for next year. But with public, you don't know what you're going to get.
You don't, dude. And it's so, I don't know, the whole public game, dude. I've been going back and forth on it. I scout so much of it in the spring and the off season, and then it comes to season, and I had a good deer. And this is just me being me and not wanting pressure. And you show up and it's here's a whole bunch of pressure.
Yeah.
And not even hunting pressure. I'm talking grouse hunters and stuff like that, but I'm talking about side-by-side guys driving side-by-sides and dirt bikes and shit like that. And I'm
the fun stuff.
Yeah. And I don't like that. And I got to the point too when that happened, when I rolled up there. It's last week of September. I pulled all my cameras and I had a big deer. I had a mid 130s up there, and I'm not worth it, man.
Yeah, I mean, public. It's ebbs and
flows.
Yeah, it's good, then it's not. It's good, then it's not. And last couple of years has been really good. I've just been messing up, overthinking, just making wrong choices.
Yeah.
And this year I made better choices, but the caliber deer weren't there, but they're older deer. You know, you can tell by body size, you know,
Right.
a bigger deer versus, you know, a year and a half, 2.5. So
Yeah.
I was on good deer, just I still got 2 weeks, but I
Pretty
don't have,
cashed out, are you, by this time?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and go shoot some does. Let off the bucks a little bit. I think I'm just burnt out from the bucks, so I'm just going to go have some fun.
What did you do differently this year? Did you change anything up this year from previous years of, like, maybe your approach or how you're trying to, I don't know, navigate scouting in season or anything like that?
I think I scouted more in season. Like I did probably in the month of September and October. I probably had 10 or 12. I'm going to go hunt in the evening, you know, midday, go out midday, scout, find no sign, end up back at the truck at dark. And still hunt my way out because it's just not there, like no rubs, no big tracks. So it's like I want to try and hunt that sign like I used to. And it just was not there this year. Like I struggled. I didn't find a big rub until like way after I should have found the big rub. So it's like either I was just looking in the wrong spot or the patches of laurel I was in were just, I was 100 yards, you know, too far one way or another.
Did you see a big drastic change in, like, pressure from year to year? Like, is that why there wasn't the sign in the areas you wanted to be?
The one spot had 3 new ladder stands. And when I say one spot, it's probably a 100-acre piece. There was no human sign the last 2 years. Those 3 new ladder stands. So
Really?
I kind of wrote that piece off, which was I spent 2 years working on that piece. I was like, man, I got it dialed this year. Nothing. Like a ghost town.
Suck.
And it's like, but I can't get too mad. They were 2-man ladder stands, you know, so I'm hoping a guy's out there with his son or daughter, you know, or, you know, 2 younger kids or something, you know, or 2 older people. Like, so I'm not too upset about it. You know, it's just, I have the ability just to move on, but it's like, and usually when that happens, it's dead. That's not coming back.
Really?
You know, yeah.
That was my next question, is how much merit do you put into, like, trying to stay away from other hunters? Because I had a guy tell me, actually not too long ago, really good hunter, and he's like, man, if I spent more time trying to get away from people, I would just be, and he kills good deer, you know, but he's like, if I spent so much time trying to get away from people, I wouldn't hunt. Yeah. You know, so how
I use people, you know, the trails, you know where they're going to be, and most, it just pushes the deer around. Like I did a video on it, like we talked about it before, just 50 yards, 60 yards, but sometimes like in season, like the spot I pulled a camera, you know, right after gun season, and I was literally hunting a patch of laurel, and I was seeing deer, but not really big deer. Mm-hmm. But the year before, that's where all the deer were. Well, they were literally about 60 yards.
Just little movement.
Yeah, just 60 yards, and it's like I had good access. Like I wasn't blowing the deer out, but they were just running the other patch of laurel right over, and it's like it was far enough where I couldn't hear them. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like they were right there. Like I'm in it, but it's just like I'm literally sitting in the stadium in the park. You know, like everybody's inside the stadium. I'm sitting out in the parking lot, like, cool, all right. You know, it's like, so like I need to come November be more mobile. Like this year, I was kind of really rigid in my all day sits. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna stay all day. Like I should have got down, and did some loops because, you know, that's my own fault. You know,
when do you pull the plug? Let's say you're going in, you know, for a morning hunt. And it's not showing. Well, it doesn't matter. When do you pull the plug and you're like, man, I just got to keep boots on the ground moving?
September, October, I'm a lot more flexible. You know,
but you like October though,
yes,
right? Like you're a big October guy.
Yes, yeah. I'm more flexible. You know, I'll keep drifting around until I find a deer. And November, I'm a little more. You want to hunt the downwind, some doe bag areas, some funnels. So I try and stick to that. Mm-hmm. thing, and it's like I get a lot of midday movement in the big woods, so I hate leaving because we've all had that where you're climbing down and you hear the deer come and you're like,
yeah.
But
damn it.
I've hunted a lot of, you know, sun up to say 2 because, you know, wife was sick a lot. I wasn't feeling the best. The whole month of November, somebody in the family was sick, so I hunted. You know, I told Monica, I was like, I'm either going to hunt, you know, 10 to dark or daybreak to 2. I'll be home like 3. I was like, what do you want me to do? She goes, be home at 3 so I get a break from the kids. Yep. So it's like, all right. So I did that, and maybe I should have threw some more evening hunts in. You know, I did more morning hunts, and it wasn't playing out, so I should have made a change probably. Like looking back, and some of the camera data, I had a lot of more evening activity this year. So, and I made a mistake of not, and I was in an area with cameras, not checking them like an idiot. Because I forget my keys. I started locking all my cameras up, and it's like, no keys.
Well, if you're anything like Josh Profit, he's got keys. Like
I'm getting I'm getting a key ring that big now. Like I got 25 cable locks now.
Man, well, you know, I kicked myself in the ass this year because I didn't use as many cameras in those soaker spots than I should have. I really dropped the ball there, and honestly, it just got to a point where, I don't know, man. It was just I think it was a time thing. I was always traveling. It seemed like when I came home, it was it's kid time and family time. You know what I mean? I don't need to be diving into the woods and just putting a camera somewhere. You know, so I did my first scouting trip a couple days ago, and I went for a 2-mile loop and I pulled some cameras as well. But I'm like, man, I'd really like to be flipping through some cards. You know what I mean? And just monitoring. Next year, I gotta spread my net a little farther.
Yeah, and I just gotta make sure some of the mistakes. This is the first year I've had this many cameras out, you know, in these certain type of spots that I plan on hunting, and not being able to look at them, knowing if the place is beat. You know, those one I spent 3 days in a row was beat, nothing. The camera scrapes, nothing was happening, and I sat all day for nothing. And it's if I would have first day I would have checked it. All right, this place is ghost town. I could have went somewhere else. So I spent 3 days for, you know, it's like the old days. We had the technology. Why not use it? It was it was like me hunting 20 years ago. Maybe something's going to come through in this laurel, but there's no movement in there. Why are you going to sit there? So
that's the game you play is too. I never know when to move. I never know. It's I don't think there is ever a time where you're I need to pull the plug, and I need to keep moving. But I want to go back to how you talk about how you kind of drift and you float. You know, you walk around to try to find that sign, and then when you find it, you set it right then.
Usually I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So how has that approach changed from this year and from the past? Because now you're full saddle as well, you know, and
that makes it a little bit easier because I'm carrying less weight and less bulk.
That's another question I got. What's your setup like? What do you weight-wise, and what are you taking?
I don't even know what it weighs, but it's a Badlands Super Day, 4 sticks. I had the camera arm this year, and just some gear. I've Ozio jacket, which was that stuff kept me pretty warm. So I didn't have a lot of layers. Usually I have numerous layers, so actually the jacket was a little too heavy sometimes. Since I put it on, I'm sweating. It's kind of missed the layer. So it was a few days. I'm man, that sun peaked, and it's whoo, this is gonna be a hot one.
That's what I was this year too. I went light, man. My whole setup was 22 pounds. That's with sticks, and it's going to get lighter. We just found out Latitude just came up with their new sticks. We're in day 1 right here, and they're up for best new product this year. So don't know. Well, actually, we'll know here in about 15 minutes what place they get or if they win. But I don't know. I like those sticks.
Those sticks are money, dude.
I think they're a pound.
Yeah, 19,
a pound?
19 ounces.
So there's 16 ounces in a pound, right?
Yeah, so 1 point, I guess 3 pounds.
And 3 of them aren't even 4 inches, I don't even think, in your hand. When you stack them together.
Yeah, it's not. They don't even really stack. They almost they were calling them nesting. They literally, it's the sticks just lay on top of one another, so your profile's only that big, which is fantastic.
It is, and I don't know. I just can't wait to use them because I went ultra minimalist last year, and I'm this is even better.
Yes, you know, and I got the light sticks now, and it's but they got the cable. With the cable aiders are a little bit heavier because they got the steel cable aiders.
I like that aider too.
You know, and it's so if I can the 3/8 cable there adds significant weight. They're still light sticks, but you add, you know, the aider. They're not as light as without.
Yeah, and they're daisy chained for fasteners, and it's got its own fastening mechanism. I don't even know what they're calling it. I'm going to do a podcast with those guys tomorrow. And
it's like a modified boat hitch almost.
Yeah.
You know, or boat cleat. There you go.
Yep, for sure.
It's pretty good. They're going to do well, those sticks.
And the price point is really nice. I think one stick is $89.
Yeah.
And a set of 3 is going to be
$239 or something.
That's priced really well.
Yeah.
They're not gonna keep them on the shelf.
No. It's good for them. They've been working hard on the sticks and seeing the prototype last year and feeling it and knew they were in the right direction. And then finally for them to get it just right is going to be good for them.
Yep.
I'm happy for anybody that works on a product that long, no matter what it is. If it comes to fruition, their dream comes to life. Like competitors, not competitors, like good for them. Somebody's chasing their dreams. It's pretty rad.
Yep, for sure. So let's kind of pivot back here. You talked about, or we were talking about scouting and public land and everything. What are some things from this year now at the end of the year that you're going to switch going into next year that's like, I got to do this a little different. I got to tweak this. And the reason why I asked, I have a terrible memory, so things that I do, I write it down and make sure I know, like, is that something you do?
I do have. I used to be a lot better with it, but I used to do a whole journal, scouting journal.
Yep.
And I actually broke out my old journal. I knocked
Did
the
ya?
dust off of it. It's like, I look back, the last entry was 2017, and I'm like, what? I was like, and I had 5 years of, like, data, like, my goals, and checked off the goals. Like, this year was, I just got lazy. I'm not going to, like, not lazy, just
it's
family.
Tough, though.
Like, family, and, like, my daughter, like, I would get up before everybody. I'd be home at noon. Well, I get up on the weekends. We make pancakes, bacon. Like, to me, that's more important, So I scout midday when it's, like, super hot, and it's like, this is awful. It's like, so it's like a 4-hour scouting mission. I've really only covered, like, half the ground because it's like you're dying, It's like it's just too hot. So this year I'm going to try and get better, to be more disciplined. Even after work, I get off at 2 o'clock. I can scout after work.
Before the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them, give me a Wednesday, like. Every Wednesday, I'm either going to shoot my bow or be in the woods. I need to get back into a better rhythm.
So what do you think you're going to switch going into 23 to improve or make yourself more efficient or whatever? What do you change?
The early season.
Get more aggressive or be more prepared?
I want to put cameras in places more on field edges so I can check them. There's a lot of beans this year and a lot of corn. I don't put cameras on corn because deer don't use them. That's bull crap. Bucks are going walking the edge. So I want to put more
cameras. You can hunt in September, right?
Yeah. You can hunt first week of September. So
you can? You're that early?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that would benefit you.
Yeah, so I need to be better at that, and more consistent with it. And my daughter's old enough now, like, she can come with me. And like I said, I'm not worried about leaving scent on the field edge because farmers do it and stuff like that. It's not, especially June, July, and August. Like, I'm fine up to about August. So I can bring a net with me and we can make a day out of it,
Now, are you placing those cameras for an early ambush or inventory?
I just want to see what's out there. Like, I'm at that point where an 80 or 90-inch deer don't excite me. It's hard to get motivated.
Yep,
sure. And I need something that's going to be like, all right, something in there is going to get me, whether I shoot him or not, because I have no problem. I'll shoot every 120 I see. Don't matter what state.
100%.
Yeah, don't matter what state I hunt.
I don't care how many's on my wall
but
either.
But if I know there's a 130, 140, 150, it's going to be more motivation to hunt that piece, to figure that deer out. It gives me a target. I think I need not necessarily a specific deer, but a targeted area where, all right, there's a potential for a good deer here.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time in the big woods looking for a big deer this year, and I should have bailed early because I didn't cut one big track or a rub where they usually are. So I should have went and hunted the beans, or near the beans, and got out of the big woods. But
tell me this, hypothetical. Let's say you throw a camera, or you got cameras on field edge. Let's say you get a picture of a big deer, a shooter buck, let's just call it. What is your next step? It's in September, okay? Are you hunting right there, or are you casting a wider net? Like, what is your big step, or your next step to try to figure out where he's coming from, where he's at, and what you're going to do next?
It's just time frame. If he's coming into it, then I know it's more of an evening setup, so I'll kick back, because that time of year you're going to get day pictures.
Yeah.
If I'm getting him at 4 in the afternoon, he's probably bedded close, relatively close.
Mm-hmm.
If he's coming in at 7, he's going to be a little bit further. So I'm just going to draw those lines, like big buck will travel, say 100 yards in 15 minutes or whatever it might be, and just kind of go off that.
Yep.
And then I'm going to try and put the cameras in areas I know where bucks are. Like, I I'll throw a few random cameras out here and there, but I need to be more disciplined in the areas I know. So if I do find one, I know where they travel, where the pinch points are, where they like to mill around a little bit, briars. So I'm not going to throw too many cameras that are just, I don't know the area.
So would you say a lot of your scouting year in and year out is figuring out those, terrain features or timber to when you do get that picture, you can go back in the Rolodex and like, okay, he's here. I know he's going to be using this terrain feature coming into this. Yeah. So it's more of just like a
historical.
Yeah.
And I hunted some of these spots for 20 years. Like I know them really well. So I don't really need much. I can scout my way in, but I need to know something there is worth spending time in there.
Right.
And blow it out 3 days, especially early season. I'll hunt every day after work for 3 days. Just blow out it 3 days. Like go in, get aggressive each day. If it don't show up, he's most likely got my scent by then. I'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people do. A lot of hunters do wrong is like they don't look at it as the long game. They look at it as like they need it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do that too. It's like, what is he doing for me right now that I can jump in right now? And that's when you might screw it up.
Yeah. And in Delaware, I had that 2 years ago. I was down there and I caught the big track. I seen him in the summertime, and for 3 days in a row, I just kept pushing further and further in. My buddy's like, "You're insane." I was like, "I'm going to see this deer." And sure enough, I seen him. And the last day, I had him at 40 yards, but it was too thick to shoot. But I was like super aggressive. I was like, I'm going to go walk till I find tracks, sit there, and it's good without all the mapping software. Breadcrumb trail in, out, so I know exactly where I am. I'm not going to go any further. Next evening, follow the same trail up and just go another 50, 60 yards and come out the same way. So I'm blowing out all this area where I think they might not be.
Yep. God, that's cool. That's just some of those things, that next level things that, and the little things to me where you got to be on top of those things. Those little things where that's what can kill those big
details.
Deer.
Yeah, devil in the details.
Cool, man. Well, I know this wasn't very long, but I appreciate you doing this. The show is going to be closing here in a little bit, and I want to get over and see them win that product.
Yeah,
Best
for
product,
sure.
So I hope so. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.